Hello, everyone out there. If you're listening right now, you're about to embark on a lot of podcasts.
Lot of podcasts.
Yeah, a lot of podcasts. This is a very, very long episode, a 7+ hour episode to be exact.
Such a long day.
Yeah, it was a long day. But if you're listening, we really appreciate it. The charity we're putting this money towards, Child's Play. You're going to hear an interview with with one of the executives from that organization, and they do a lot of good work. If you don't know, some of the prizes, there's signed books from Donnie Cates, Robert Kirkman, Robert Liefeld, Ryan Otley. We've got signed Flash pictures, Walking Dead stuff, Will Smith stuff. A lot of cool signed stuff that we're going to be able to get to you. I just wanted everybody to know that before we go in. And the donation is $1 to $9. Gets you the signed comic books, one entry for each $1. Once you hit 10, you get into the bigger things like the signed Walking Dead stuff, the grand prize, which is an SDCC San Diego Comic-Con exclusive pack of Ricks signed by Robert Kirkman.
Isn't it 10 years of Rick?
10 years of Rick, yes. 15 years of Rick.
Oh, I'm sorry.
15
Jeez,
years of
excuse
Rick.
me.
Yeah. So Katrina's going to give you we're going to do a PayPal account. You'll also hear different hashtags throughout these 7-hour episodes that get you extra entries into the giveaways. But we just wanted to give you where you could actually send the money to. So, and all the money is going to the charity. None of it's going to us.
No, we're not keeping anything.
We're not even using any of it to pay for shipping. 100% of the money that you donate will be going to Child's Play. So go ahead and give them the PayPal account, Katrina.
So the PayPal account's going to be Campos, CAMPOS, KAT, KAT, @hotmail.com. You're going to go ahead and put that into the system through PayPal and submit your donation. If you run into any issues, please contact us on Twitter. My handle is 9to5Nerds Producer, and if you have any other problems, you obviously have my email as well, which is camposcat@hotmail.com or 9to5nerds.katrina@gmail. So if you have problems, reach out. We'll fix it. We'll figure out some way to get your donation in so we can get that onto Child's Play.
And when you go onto there, shoot us your address on there, and so we can ship you the item if you win. You can always contact me on Twitter as well at 9to5Nerds. And thank you for listening. It was a lot of fun. It was a long day, but it was a lot of work.
It was a lot of work. And if you have any questions about the charity, please reach out to us too. We can point you in the right direction if you have questions and just want to check it out before donating. We're willing to do that as well.
All right. So that's it. Have fun listening.
Enjoy. What?
Is the intro song over?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Did you not get that?
No, I didn't. I didn't catch that.
I couldn't hear it.
No, you don't.
I'm not supposed to talk.
No, yeah. Hello and welcome to a very, very, very special episode of 9to5Nerds with Robert Swathwood, Corey Urkel,
Hey.
and Katrina Swathwood.
Hello.
Now, throughout the day, first, this is our charity episode. This is going to be a 7-hour episode. We are only taking breaks to save each file after we do an episode, and then we are going straight into the next one. So we are basically talking straight for 7 hours. And as you can hear, I have got the super sexy voice today.
The raspies?
The raspy, yeah. We just got back from Comic-Con, and my voice is shot. So I'm going to be drinking lots of warm fluids.
I can help you with that, buddy.
I'm thinking teas with honey for the day.
Oh.
I usually drink coffee, but we'll have. I drink tea at night.
Tea bagging, but
no, I don't need any tea bagging from you.
Okay.
But we do have a lot of guests. We're gonna have Alan Berserker from Four Guys at a Table here. Brian P., Anthony Smith, Eric Galactus. I believe Matt McMurder's coming. And did I miss anybody?
I don't know who you got lined up. That sounds like everybody I know.
And we have a very special guest later. I guess we could just say it since he's going to come, right? He already said he's coming.
Sure.
Robert Kirkman will be coming back for his second appearance on the
Unless
show.
he hates you and doesn't show.
Yeah, unless he's in no show. But he said he's coming. He's going to be here later. So we do have that. I just wanted to explain what we're doing a little bit. I know if you've listened to the past, you know what's going on. We are doing this charity episode for Child's Play. They are an organization that donates video game systems and stuff like that to domestic violence shelters and children's hospitals. I just wanted to explain, we're hoping to have the executive director of Child's Play on at some point today. We've been kind of playing tag online, and he said he would come on, and we're going to try to get him on here. But I just wanted to explain how we're going to be raising this money so everybody understands. We have Comic-Con exclusive Redneck variants, Comic-Con exclusive Walking Dead comics, Comic-Con exclusive Venom, and Comic-Con exclusive Deadpool. All the Venoms and Rednecks are signed by Donnie Cates, the writer. The Deadpools are signed by Robert Liefeld. Amazing Spider-Man as well. We have the Comic-Con exclusive of that, and that's signed by Ryan Otley, the artist. And the Walking Dead ones will obviously be signed by Robert Kirkman as long as he shows up. We have a big prize to give away at some point that is the 4-pack of Ricks from Comic-Con, which will also be signed.
They're the bloody ones, right?
They are the bloody ones. And we have some other Skybound books that we're going to have signed. And we also had a donation from one of our listeners, Robert, different Robert, who gave us a signed Jeffrey Dean Morgan Negan picture, a signed Norman Reedus Daryl Dixon picture, a signed Flash Ezra Miller picture, a signed Suicide Squad magazine signed by Will Smith, and what's Wolowitz's name on Simon? A Wolowitz signed picture from Big Bang Theory. Katrina looked that name up right now. And so we do have a lot of stuff. So what we're doing is we were going to charge for the episodes. We never charge for episodes. And we were going to, but we're not going to do that. What we're going to do is instead we're going to take donations. So what happens is if you donate $1 through $9.
Simon Helberg.
Simon Helberg. See, I knew his name was Simon. If you donate $1 through $9, you will get a single entry into the raffle for every dollar you donate, for up to $9. And that wins you any of the signed comic books. After that, once you hit $10, you'll still get your 9 entries for the
Comic books.
signed comic books. But once you hit $10, you will go into the next tier, and you will be eligible to win any of the signed pictures or the signed Walking Dead set of Ricks. Those are a little bigger, a little bit more grand. We're trying to raise some money for this charity. And then for every dollar above 10 that you donate,
Entry.
you will get an extra entry for the bigger prizes as well. Plus, you will still get your 9 entries for the comic books. So that's how that's going to work. We might set up some fun stuff throughout here that'll give you an extra entry for a hashtag maybe that we'll do here and there to give you maybe a 1 or 2 extra entries into the raffle. But we're not going to tell you that here. You're just going to have to kind of listen throughout the episodes, and so you might get an extra entry without having to donate. But it is a really good charity, and it's going to be a lot of fun doing this. We have a lot of games that we're going to talk about. We have tons of stuff coming up. I brought a game. Alan has a game. Corey has a game. And then, every other episode, we're just going to be talking like we usually do. A lot of stuff happened at Comic-Con. We're going to wait to get into that a little bit more until some of our other guests come here, because Alan, unfortunately, with his 12 jobs and his very successful podcast,
he did not have time to attend.
He did not have time to attend the podcast.
Too bad.
The podcast, Comic-Con.
Sorry, I'm podcast focused now. Comic-Con's in the past. I do want to say that since we are going to have, 10, 12 people here, I do this at my house. It's going to be a little warm. Our AC is going to be on, and our fan's going to be on. There's going to be people talking in the background. So this isn't going to be as
Neat
high
and
quality.
tidy.
Yeah, I'll say tidy. as it usually is, or how it has gotten. Sorry, I'm still trying to wake up. This is the first episode. I'm gonna take a sip of coffee here.
Need a beer?
No, Robert doesn't do beer.
Yeah,
I think he's done.
It's unfortunate because I like drinking beer, but it started like really hurting my stomach.
Really?
Yeah, it sucks, man. And I'll still drink like one, maybe two, but like I can't. Oh, let's play poker and have 6, 7 beers while we're playing. I can't do that.
You can't play poker?
No, he can.
Well, I've never been able to play poker, but
Got me a good hand.
did we ever tell that story on here? So we were at a poker tournament, and it wasn't like at a casino or anything.
Very friendly poker
Yeah,
tournament.
what was it? Maybe two. It was 2 or 3 tables.
Yeah.
At a friend of ours, and I was dealing at one of the tables, and I think I had a full house.
Was it? So you and I were the last ones in the hand.
Corey and I were the last ones, and Corey, as non-friendly as he usually is, he was kind of like, "You need to get out of the hand." You were trying to be nice to me.
Yeah, I don't know. Did it just flop down? I can't remember.
Yeah, you flopped a royal flush.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You need to back out." And I had a full house. I thought he was just fucking with me because he's always fucking with me. And I don't think you knocked me out, or you might have.
I might have taken some money, but I don't think I got you.
Yeah, that was. That's the only time I've ever seen a royal flush on the board, and I dealt it, and I lost to it. It sucked.
Yeah. It's the only time I've ever seen it. I know what the odds are. Probably won a couple 10,000 something.
Alan, mathematician, what are the odds of a royal flush being dealt?
Astronomical.
He says astronomical. Alan brought donuts
In
and
Texas Hold'em, it might be a little bit higher odds, not rather than just straight poker.
5-card stud.
Yeah.
That was my. Never mind. We won't go there.
What?
I was going to say
Nothing.
something about a nickname.
They called you that?
No.
No one's called him that.
They call him a stud?
Nobody's ever called me a stud. Did we talk? Speaking of studs, did we talk about the Triple Crown winner on the last episode?
No?
I don't think we
Does it
did.
just-
Did,
I don't remember.
Ring a bell to me?
okay, so this horse justified. Okay, I know this isn't nerd talk and
Oh,
stuff.
no,
but
you did
Oh,
talk
did?
about
Okay.
it.
All right.
Okay.
Then I don't
The
want
horse that's worth so much
Yeah,
money.
it's
for breeding.
crazy. It's fucking crazy.
Lucky horse.
I was hoping to wait till Brian or Anthony got here since they went to Comic-Con, but we can start talking about some trailers if you guys want to talk about trailers.
Would you rather do that or talk about your encounter?
My encounter?
No, I'll wait for that later.
Yeah, we'll wait for that. You can sit here if you want. You can get in on this. Yeah, we're doing this casual, man.
We're live.
Rotating chairs.
I'm always casual.
You want to pull the mic up a little bit?
How's that?
It's
we
better. Not great.
Closer.
Put the pop filter closer.
How about now?
You're good.
That's good.
I hear ya.
Yeah.
So we'll touch base on some Comic-Con stories and stuff when some more Comic-Con people get here. But Alan's watched all the trailers, so we can. What? You're flipping me?
Oh, I'm just going to my page.
Okay. So I mean, we got Aquaman, we got Fantastic Beasts, Shazam, Glass. We watched the Walking Dead trailer. What else do we have? What else popped up?
Godzilla. I put movies
Godzilla.
and TV on different pages.
Okay. Well, we'll talk movies then. I have a question for you, Alan. You haven't seen. What's the last Harry Potter movie you saw?
I haven't seen any of them.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god.
Okay. So
I read the books. We've talked about this. I just never got around to seeing the movies.
yeah. So if you haven't seen any of those, you haven't seen Fantastic Beasts. What did you think of the trailer?
Definitely a
Confusion?
lot has happened. Well, I wouldn't say confusing. I mean, I know generally who Eddie Redmayne's character is. He's Newt Scamander. He wrote the book Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I'm assuming that's what the first movie is about.
You
Kind
found them.
of.
And I remember mentioned that's what made Dumbledore famous was his defeat of Grindelwald in the 40s. So
Yeah, that's what's going to be coming up over the next. How many sequels?
5 movies.
Yeah.
oh wow, they're gonna tell that whole story in five.
The-
movies.
5 movies.
They're stretching that
It was
shit
supposed to be
out.
3, and they stretched it to 5. But I think you could take. You can be okay with it because she's writing them.
Yeah.
She's writing the screenplays for the movie, so it's coming from her brain. Nobody's adapting it, and she's obviously shown. You read the books. Did you like the books?
Yeah, they were okay. Yeah.
They were okay. Oh God.
So next time we'll get Grindelwald Strikes
No,
Back.
I mean, I think what I liked best about them is the writing style developed as you got later in the books. It became more and more mature. But I still was a little.
What are you doing over there?
I smacked the fucking
Stop
mic twice.
hitting things.
Yeah, and yeah, I refused to read them at first.
The Harry Potter books?
Yeah, I refused to read them. I was like, I read real fantasy books. I don't read kids' books.
It's young adult.
Yeah,
People
this
have
is-
a lot
Absolutely,
big thing
yeah.
against young adult.
This came out when I was in high school. I wasn't a young kid.
Which one came out? Like the movies?
No,
books?
the books. Didn't they?
They may have came out before that, man.
First book came out in 90 something.
Katrina?
In Europe. When did it first come out here?
Harry Potter Mania started with probably
They did have to
99,
translate it
2000.
from
Yeah.
English to American English.
Well,
Which is a
All
real
they
thing.
did was just change the title from Philosopher's Stone
Yeah,
to Sorcerer's
and
Stone.
they're done.
From Philosopher's Stone to Sorcerer's Stone.
Yeah.
We've had that discussion on here before. People actually have to edit their books when they translate to different
yeah, because
states.
certain words.
Cigarette.
Well, here's what happened.
Especially if they're like really high with like the Cockney or the.
I said I never was going to read them, and I was living with my grandparents, and I was in high school, and my uncle had bought the first movie, and he asked if I had wanted to watch it. So I was like, oh, yeah, I'll watch it. I watched it, and I really liked the movie. So I saw the first couple of movies, and then when did the 360 come out? Xbox
2006.
2000 really 2006.
2005, 2006, yeah.
Sounds about right, because 2001 was PS2, so it took a few years.
When was the PS2? You said?
I think it's around 2001.
Yeah, I was still in high school when the PS2 came out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Came out in 1998 in the U.S.
Okay, so I was a freshman in high school.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
So I can't remember what video. It wasn't the 360 then. Maybe it was the first When did the first Xbox come out?
2002, maybe.
Okay.
2001.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Maybe it was a Dreamcast. I don't really remember.
What are you going on?
I was waiting in line with my mom for a video game system for my brothers for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody had gotten me the first book, and I read the entire first book in line, and I went to maybe Walden Books? No. Maybe Borders. Neither one of those places are around anymore.
That is correct.
I went to Borders, and I picked up the next one. I started reading it, and then my grandma bought me the first 5 in hardcover. And then Katrina read the last one in a day and a half.
Yeah.
I read the last one in 2 days.
They're quick reads.
Well, there's a couple of them that are kind of long.
The last ones were pretty thick, so that is.
The last one I
Order the-
started reading before it came out.
Order of the Phoenix was really big, and so was.
I mean, I could see them on
Half-Blood,
my bookshelf up there. You could see which ones are thicker. After it starts getting thick at Goblet of Fire. That's the first one where somebody dies. I mean, somebody that was alive that died, not somebody in the past that died, right?
Loyalsies.
Oh my God!
Fuck.
Seriously?
If you haven't read that shit by
Wait,
now,
So Professor Quirrell,
He didn't die.
did he not?
You don't see him die.
I reread the first
Do you
one.
read him die?
I don't think so.
I reread the first one with Parker because they have the illustrated versions now where there's a guy that he like watercolor paints in it. He was here on Tuesday at the San Diego Library.
Really?
Yeah, and they're really beautiful books. And we started reading the second one. We haven't finished it, but Parker has started reading on his own. So there's that. So I still want to read them with him, but we kind of got behind. He likes them. He got as much as I've got him into Harry Potter and Star Wars. I haven't been able to get him into Lord of the Rings yet.
That's
He's just not there.
Yeah, it's a teenager thing.
Actually, last week he asked me if he could watch the second one because he wants to know if Gandalf really does come back or not.
Well, there you go.
Why would you think he's coming back? What did you say?
He was playing Lego Dimensions.
Oh, I spoiled.
And they play stuff off of that, and I was like, I don't know, man, you're gonna have to watch it. He's like, well, when can we watch it? I was like, whatever you want.
You can always do the start with the Ralph Bakshi.
You can make
you
out
want to
with
watch the '60s Hobbit movie?
Yeah,
I've never saw it.
You never saw The Hobbit?
No, Lord of the Rings was the first Lord of the Rings thing.
Oh,
I ever
wow.
saw.
They parody the crap out of it in South Park, but
I enjoyed it as a kid.
it's fun. Yeah, I mean it's not
And
anything stellar to write home
Those
about.
that Hobbit, and then the Lord of the Rings.
They did the first book. They did Fellowship and then Return of the King.
who made those? I can't remember. What?
Ralph Bakshi was the director. I think it's Rankin Bass who produced
Okay,
it.
okay.
He's famous for doing Fritz the Cat.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a movie in the 70s. It was one of the first adult cartoons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember Cool World?
Yes.
You couldn't see the look that Alan just gave, but are you playing Pokemon?
No, looking at text.
Okay. No text at the table. No text. No.
You're busy.
No.
Good thing I put on silent.
Yeah. No, it doesn't matter. Like I said earlier on this
I
episode.
have 7 hours of no contact.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, this episode's not. These episodes aren't going to be super
I'm
clean.
being held here against my will.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't say that.
But those air for a while, so
Okay,
could
so
be long dead.
They're going to be looking for somebody in my freaking garage. Where's this
I
person?
mean, somebody else.
At the beginning of the episode, we talked about donating to a child's charity, and now we're holding
Yeah.
not a child, an adult here against their will. Okay. When I took the kids to summer camp today, Oliver wanted to drive and Parker wanted to walk. We live fairly close to the school.
You let Oliver drive?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
That's not safe.
That was a terrible joke. And I laughed. You made me completely lose my train of thought. Okay, so Parker wanted to walk, and he's like, well, will you just follow me? And I was like, yeah, I've done that before where he's not quite ready to walk home by himself. So I would just park, and I would watch him. But so there's this car slowly following this kid that's walking down the sidewalk.
Oh, yeah, you should have got...
Yeah,
rolled
so
up
I'm
on-
just
I'm
like,
sure there'll be something on next door
I was gonna
coming
say-
through on my email.
That's a really good segue for that one topic you wanted to talk about.
which one?
The big controversy that happened this weekend.
Oh, James Gunn?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can touch base on that. You know, these are going to be
Touch and go.
interesting episodes because we've never done 7 hours before. I think the longest we've ever done is hour 45 minutes.
Ugh. So what are the facts about James Gunn?
Okay, so do you want me to read you some of these tweets? I actually took a
'cause
screenshot.
you know more than us, it seems.
Which means you didn't read
I
anything.
didn't read any of his tweets.
I like to think that
I
I'm
did some due diligence.
A lot of the,
this
the
morning,
article I
you know.
read didn't cover it. Like
I like
There
to
was
think
a
that I'm a
screenshot of
pretty
it.
level-headed guy. I don't like to join the online mobs, but I understand why things happen. For this one, I find it hard that he was fired because what the stuff he said was obviously it's in jest, and he even said he came up as kind of like he came up in trauma, right?
Yeah, and did Romeo and Juliet.
And did he?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. He came up and he even said, I tried to shock people, I tried to do this, I tried to do that, but it's hard to fire somebody when that stuff was already out and they still hired him. It's not like he said that stuff after he was hired.
Yeah.
He said it before he was hired, so they had access to that stuff. Even though those were deleted tweets, somebody still had them. Disney has money. If they did their due diligence, they would have already known that stuff was out there.
This damage control, I think, is their due diligence. They said, okay, he's already come out. He's admitted that these were done in poor taste. And now that people are actually starting to get upset, we need to distance
Address it.
ourselves from this as far as possible.
We got to Roseanne him.
That's the thing is
Well, it absolutely was politically motivated, and people have to.
Okay, so you want to hear some of them?
Yeah.
The Hardy Boys and the mystery of what it feels like when Uncle Bernie fists me. These are.
That also made you laugh.
I talked to the guy from the charity. I said, we get kind of crazy. Are you okay associating, accepting money from a donation from us when we get a little? We're not racist. We're not sexist. We're not anything of that stuff on here. But I still want to. And he's like, yeah. He's like, I understand that the stuff that's associated with us isn't going to be, PG. So don't worry about it.
Moderately safe for work.
Yeah.
Bit rude.
The Expendables was so manly. I fucked the shit out of the little pussy boy next to me. The boys are back in town. Let me find another one. The hotel shower is the weakest I've ever felt. Or no, the hotel shower is the weakest ever. Felt like a 3-year-old was peeing on my head. Tell your 3-year-old you're laughing thinking of me fucking 3PO. He'll appreciate it when older. I'm doing a Hollywood film adaptation of The Giving Tree with a happy ending. The tree grows back and gives the kid a blowjob. I like when little boys touch me in my silly place. Shh.
Well, that one's just not funny.
I just made a joke about ass raping my friend when she was asleep.
Yeah, that's one of them too.
Wait, he made a joke while she was asleep, so she didn't hear the joke?
No, he made a joke about ass raping my friend when she was asleep.
Okay. So he tweeted about how he made a joke?
So
I want to hear the joke.
I understand why he was fired. The response from his brother was interesting and kind of sad.
Yeah.
He said, he was talking about how his brother grew up doing these Guardians movies. He became the person he is now, as opposed to the kind of asshole that nobody liked beforehand. And you kind of see that in Star-Lord as he takes more responsibility, and people change. We've all said stupid stuff. I understand why they fired him. If he would have said this stuff after he was hired, I would have been with the mob saying, you need to get this guy out of here. This is shit. But stuff that they had access to beforehand and they still hired him, I find it interesting that they fired him. I get it. I'm not arguing it. I understand it. But it's hard to... It's not the same thing as the Roseanne thing. It's not.
So how much you think on this is he out? So he's fired from directing.
He'll still get writer's credits.
They're still using... I assume he had a pretty good idea, notion.
Well, he had a pretty big influence on the entire Marvel universe now.
So how many ideas of his do they use and still pay him on the back end?
He'll be a writer. I've seen a lot of speculation on that he still will be a credited writer.
I'm sure there's already like petitions, with thousands of signatures to bring him back, regardless of whether...
When was the last time a petition worked?
Selma Blair's pushing it.
Is she?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the things, though, they give it a little while
until
it quiets down and then silently bring him back on.
Chris Hardwick's got all kinds of people pushing his signature thing. His had 50,000 signatures, and
I think that's a different situation, though, because you're dealing with someone coming forth with allegations.
He's also made some other tweets that, poor jokes aside, he did, in the era of the Me Too movement, don't look good in his favor as well. I don't know if you read this article.
Chris Hardwick or James Gunn?
James Gunn.
Okay.
Back from 2015, where he had the list of 50 superheroes you most want to have sex with. And some of the comments he had about that are, quote, rising a full 24 places, Storm is once again our highest-ranking woman of color, and considering most of the other women of color on this list are green or blue or pink, that's quite a feat. You also have, this lesbian character was voted almost exclusively by men. I don't know what exactly that means, but I'm hoping for a Marvel DC crossover so that Tony Stark can turn her. She can also have sex with Nightwing and probably still be technically a lesbian. So...
Those aren't in the... still in poor taste, but not in the same
right.
The same lens as the previous one.
They're not, and...
Other than this stuff, I've always really liked the stuff that he puts out on social media. He seems like a level-headed guy, and he seems articulate. Mm-hmm. But then you see this stuff come up, and you're like, it doesn't even seem like the same person.
Well,
he's got some dark
the guy who got behind it is the guy behind the Pizzagate conspiracy theory.
Okay, I want to make a comment about that real quick.
Yeah,
when the election was going on, mm-hmm. and that was a thing. Some of the people at my work, and obviously some people really believed it. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? They thought that, what is it? They thought they were running a child sex ring out of a pizza parlor, right?
Yeah, have you climbed down that rabbit hole?
No, I don't want to. But they thought Hillary Clinton was running this or involved in this.
The Clintons are involved in it. So I did this once at night because I got curious.
That's when they falling down the rabbit hole.
I absolutely went down the conspiracy theory rabbit hole, and the stuff presented is definitely all anecdotal, and it's all just really, really odd coincidences, and it all has to do with money and slave.
Your brain is trained to look for trends and put things together.
Can I say that we just started this by asking him what he thought about Fantastic Beasts, and now we're at Pizzagate?
Yeah.
This is going to be a fun day.
Yeah.
No, keep going. You're fine. Or is that it?
Well, no, you jump in there. There's a lot of coincidences. There's traces of money. This big financial backer who's allegedly reported of engaging in essentially white slavery, with human trafficking, and how he would just have these women for different people of political power while the Clintons were in office in '92, and how it's connected back to this former attorney general. And there's a bunch of emails that refer to cheese pizza, which is, if you go on the depths of 4chan, CP is usually an abbreviation for child pornography, and it just spirals out of control from that.
Like this podcast?
I think this is ruining pizza for me.
Wah, wah, wah.
I'm not going to eat cheese pizza no more.
Let's take a few steps back. What do you guys think about the James Gunn firing? Katrina, you seem to be the most...
livid.
Not livid. No, I'm not saying that. The most...
illicit.
I'd like to think that you're most level-headed out of all of us.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That's not good. I understand. It makes sense. I also think that whoever did vetting for Marvel or for
Failed.
Disney failed miserably. You know, if that was something that was really going to concern them, or did they already know about it and they just didn't care? And
Can we all agree that the shit said is we all agree it's very, not only just in poor taste, but it's pretty terrible. I mean,
it's stupid. It's
Comics
shock
make bad
value.
jokes, so yeah, it's,
yeah. I mean, but that's, I mean, who at what point?
Look, I've made jokes in that poor taste before,
Like you never tweeted
But
them.
do you put it out
That's
to the
true.
universe?
and these are made in a time where your impact on social media is such a big thing.
I'm not the person I was 10 years ago, but I've
Neither I
also
would hope that
never
any of us are.
made. There are some things that are in my head that stick in my head, and I think about them. Stupid shit that I've said regularly.
But you didn't broadcast it to the world.
No, but I
Luckily.
mean, I easily could have.
Had you the tools
I didn't have.
for the followers?
Yeah, I mean, and there could be something in my Twitter feed. I've never made jokes like that, but there could be something in my past Twitter feed that if the time ever comes where I.
Well, if you ever had like a live journal or anything like that.
Oh
back in
God,
the day-
no,
Check
that
in
yeah.
MySpace.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh shit, yeah,
Live
maybe
journal.
You can't run for office then.
no, no. I never thought about live journal. Oh shit.
Yeah.
I've gone back and I'll tell you this: there was a time where shortly after Oliver was born, I thought I needed to present myself in a different way to be a model dad, maybe. Like,
After Oliver or Parker?
You're no model.
well, yeah, no model. That's her. If that's it's a dad bod catalog. But you know, I wanted to present myself as more an adult. When you realize that nobody in their own mind ever thinks they're really an adult, you know, we're all still in the same stuff we were in. You know, yeah, I just said we all changed, but we're all still into comic books and geeky stuff, and we do all this stuff. But I wanted to present myself in a different way,
We've
and
matured.
yeah, and I posted something on Facebook, I was at Costco, and this older lady, she looked like a grandma, had purple hair, and I posted, and I've since deleted it, and I don't think this way. In my mind, I was trying to be more of an adult, and I posted something like, "No grandma should have purple hair. That's inappropriate." Blah blah blah. Something stupid. Yeah, I know it's funny, and that's not even bad. That's not like this James Gunn thing.
No.
But it sparked a thing on my Facebook where people were like super divided, and
Well, we live in the era of outrage.
yeah, well, this was
years ago.
it was before Oliver, because it was at least 5 years at the very least.
It was after Parker because you had this huge. You cut your hair. You did a lot of
Whoa.
things.
Yeah.
That's fucking
Well,
crazy.
before Parker was born, I cut my hair and took out my earrings and all that stuff because I wanted to look. I still don't have my earrings in, and I haven't grown my hair out, but
You got a beard.
I have a beard. Who cares if somebody has purple hair or tattoos? I mean, I wouldn't get facial tattoos, but I mean, who gives a shit what people look like? I mean, I don't. But at that point,
It
I
also
was
becomes a slippery slope because we see people at school not wearing any clothes, walking around getting their kids.
yeah. There's an appropriate way to dress where it's not, you know, you don't want to pick up your kid in your, you know, stripper
In
uniform.
5 years, you don't care what people wear.
I don't think strippers have uniforms.
Nice
Well, they have costumes. that are
costumes.
removed.
It all
It's,
comes
it's
off.
great.
You ever been to a strip club, Corey?
No.
Alan?
Of course.
I've gone to one, and I was so uncomfortable.
You know, I used to work the door at one, right?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I was so
That must have been
uncomfortable.
fun.
You know, really,
Not that bad.
Yeah, I probably wrestle more drunks at my job now than I did then. Usually, you can just talk them out and like, hey man, don't do something stupid. Like,
Just go home.
just go home, sleep it off.
But back to the purple hair. I really don't care what anybody could have whatever color hair they want.
I'm glad you're
I was
letting
just
us-
I was just being a.
Can I just put out a quick suggestion
Yeah.
though? Exclusive to Patreon members, the 9 to 5 Nerds Dad Bod calendar.
Oh man, that'd be. I would take pictures for that.
You'd have to take 12.
That's all right.
Do they have to pay not to see it?
Yeah, right.
That's the higher tier.
Yeah. But the purple hair thing I've since deleted because I was trying to be something I'm not, and I'm a pretty open-minded guy. I don't really care about stuff like that, and I was trying to be somebody else, and that's not me.
Do you remember my crappy band?
Yeah.
So, do you remember the Battle of the Bands where we had over like 1,000 people? And I opened our set because our songs were so short and we needed to fill time. I opened it with some really bad jokes.
I don't remember that.
They were in very, very poor taste. They were James Gunn quality.
I don't remember that. I've never talked about this on here. We had a senior talent show my last year. Obviously, my last year of high school was a senior talent show. And somebody makes an announcement that his name was Austin. Said Austin and Robert are going to come up and play a song. And I'm like, I have no idea. I've never played in front of. I mean, I had like guitar recitals and stuff, but I had never played in front of that many people. And so I started. Me and Austin were just messing around, and it was like, I would say like Flight of the Conchords type, Weird Al type, just spoof stuff.
So you signed up for this?
No. Well, him and I would mess around and we would just play, but we never.
You signed up for the talent show?
No.
He apparently did, or
no.
Just somebody.
Austin told somebody to go up there that we knew that was part of the like class ASB, and they pulled us on stage. I was like, I don't even have a guitar, and somebody handed me a guitar. I was like, great. So I got to play this song in front of all these people, and it was. He just came up with lyrics on the spot. It was called "It's Hard." I've graduated over 15 years ago. It's hard being a woman when you're really a guy. And it was fine for like the first minute and a half, but then he started talking about driving in a windowless van and snatching people up off the street. And this was at a high school. And they shut the mics off real fast after that. But
also I think the tolerance level of what's acceptable is, I think we can all agree, has changed over the years as to what's appropriate in the lexicon and what isn't.
A kindergartner can't say bomb without getting arrested.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to think that it's swung so far one way that it'll... What's that noise?
It's Bryn.
Bryn.
Oh. Yeah, our dog's walking around too. Usually when we do these podcasts at night, she's asleep.
We snuff her up.
What?
What?
Snuff her out?
She goes to sleep, but...
She'll be awake
I'd
today.
like to think that, the change that's happening is good, but I'd like to think it's swung so far one way that it'll kind of come back to where it should be, where, a lot of these things...
I think it's context. Like
it's going in the right direction, but it's like Corey said, if a kindergartner says bomb at a school, he shouldn't be suspended. He's a kindergartner.
They don't want them playing cops and robbers. They don't want them pretending to have guns either. Like there's a lot of things going on that spectrum. But what we're talking about is a global projection to the world. I'm going to be funny and say something really fucking stupid and fucked up. And at what point does that just become normalized? Which it has been.
Well, it raises the bigger question: are there some subjects that cannot be joked about? Because comedy is often used to bring subjects into light through diffusing of humor and to bring these horrible things to the forefront so that people can have a discussion. Are there some things that just should not be joked about?
But it's these things that James Gunn said weren't even jokes. They were just stupid. They weren't funny.
No.
I mean,
that doesn't mean. I mean, just because they're not funny doesn't mean they're not jokes. Look, on the flip side of things, let's take what Roseanne said. What Roseanne said, whether it was a joke or not, was veiled as a joke. It wasn't a good one.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people will backtrack on things they said and say that they were joking just so they can pass it off as a joke, even though they meant what they said. Oh no, I was just joking, so you don't get in trouble.
So then only intention matters. If you intend it to be a joke, you say the exact same thing. But
this is like we said.
Right.
This is a slippery slope,
right.
And I'll go back to saying that I understand why he was fired and the shit he said was terrible, but it's just a different time. I mean,
I think if he had a disclaimer on every tweet, like
this is a joke,
yeah,
or
it would cover his ass.
Maybe not tweet. Maybe
That's what I'm saying.
That's a start.
Maybe we should stop giving power to social media the way that we do.
With Trump tweeting every day and it getting
headlines. On that real quick, there was a orange stormtrooper at Comic-Con whose lightsaber was a golf club, and on top of his orange
I don't get it. Explain the joke.
Really? You want me to keep going?
Yeah.
I'm finishing. It was an orange stormtrooper with a golf club lightsaber and a yellow wig, and on the back of his shirt it said "Make the Death Star Great Again."
Nice.
And it was Mark Hamill.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
he dressed up all the days.
Mark Hamill's fairly political without being offensive on Twitter.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I'd really like to meet him. He seems just like a swell guy,
He does seem like a fun dude.
doesn't he? I mean,
It's like a cool dad.
yeah.
He went to the Brooklyn
exactly.
Nine-Nine panel.
He went to the Brooklyn Nine-Nine panel dressed in like a windbreaker and
he on the
avatars. And no, he wasn't on the panel. He wasn't on the panel. He went to watch the panel.
Yeah, he sat in the audience.
He had a bunch of disguises this week that he went full stormtrooper at one point, and somebody actually, when I was waiting in line for the Lego figures, came up and like harassed one of the people in line. They were like, where was the stormtroopers with like is it the sand troopers that have like the
Orange.
Those are
Chip.
usually marks of like
rank?
sergeant. Yeah.
Okay. He came up and some girl was looking at him and she was smiling and she's like, he got like in her face and I was like, this is kind of like aggressive for a stormtrooper. He's like, you know what happens to rebels, right? He's like, they die. And he was like a foot away from her face and I'm like, this is kind of aggressive. I was wondering if it was like a celebrity or something that no,
Someone having too much
it wasn't
fun.
staged because she was turning red and she was like trying to look away.
Embarrassed.
But yeah, we've actually got a
Don't worry. He wouldn't try to. If he tried to hit her, he'd just miss. So stormtroopers do.
yeah. not new age stormtroopers. They seem a little bit more accurate than
What did they hit? Not Finn or Poe.
no, but there was well,
No, they hit regular rebels. It's it's
It's the important ones that
the
they
important
can't seem to
ones that
kill.
have a higher level and a higher AC.
well, if you're a higher
harder to
level,
hit.
you can
Maybe their
you
luck
can
just hasn't run out
space Mary Poppins through. That reminds me, I have a video of Michael Rooker saying, "I'm Mary Poppins, y'all." Like I actually
Yeah, it's on Guardians too.
no,
No,
but
like in
I told you
person.
we got to
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about that on when we do a little bit more Comic-Con talking because I got a cool Michael Rooker story that happened this last week at Comic-Con to tease you for the further episodes.
Ooh.
Sure.
So James Gunn,
You
Finish
mean
that?
Fantastic Beasts?
I was gonna say, I think we've
you're gonna go around and ask
flogged
how
the James
everybody
Gunn
felt
thing to
about
death,
it.
right?
Yeah, I mean,
I feel bad.
we'll just say all tweets bad.
I enjoy the fact that Ezra Miller was dressed up as Toadette during the entire panel.
Did she show you this picture?
No, but I saw the highlights on the.
But you saw him dressed up as Toadette?
It was great.
I know that was this year. I seen.
was that like a
pictures.
Mario panel or was it for the DC?
No,
panel?
it was for the Fantastic
It was for
Beasts.
Fantastic Beasts, and he showed up to the panel just in
In
costume.
cosplay.
It's the kid who plays the Flash, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who does he play in Fantastic Beasts?
Credence.
Yeah,
He's an obscurity.
He's like one of the. He's like the fifth main character.
he's not a villain and he's not a good guy. He's just
First
He's
movie
lost.
takes place where in like the 20s, right?
yeah.
So
In New York.
Seems like a minor character, but by the end he becomes like the holy
focal
grail
point.
of
So-
people wanting to snatch him.
and this next movie's in Paris, so it looks like they're bouncing around.
Yeah.
They're traveling.
You know what? I didn't
It's
like
interesting to see because you have the rebuilding of World War I in Europe and the lead up to World War II. I wonder how they're going to address that or how they would even see that because it seems like what Grindelwald wants to
I don't know if you'll
is tired
see.
of hiding from the Muggles.
I don't know if you'll see much Muggle politics. Cause
in the first one there are not
I don't think they
I-
even
so-
address
There's a bunch of dudes in like
there's a period-
G-men dressed as G-
Yeah.
or unless they're
Yeah.
wizards too, right?
It was.
no, they were wizards as well.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It has the period.
But
of
everybody
it,
wore
but
suits then, so even the wizards were like wearing suits.
There's no political stuff in the first.
I guess
Like,
in
2000s they decided to go back to robes.
Well, no. Here's the thing: is they give all the, and maybe it's because she wrote them, and she's from
Yeah.
over there, where they're called the non-magical people are called squibs, and here they're called non-mag or no-mag. I'm like, we didn't get like a cool name, and like over there they all wear robes, and over here we all wear suits.
it was a cool thing. People were like, oh, in the Americas, like magic terms are like different. Magical cultures. Different.
We're like, and we're
I hope so. I mean,
we're non-accepting. Like
But
in
none of it seemed as cool as like the British version of everything.
overseas, they're allowed to associate with Muggles, but here a wizard with a Muggle was unacceptable, right? Wasn't that one of the things in
Was
the?
that-
You kind of see that in Goblet of Fire when those other schools from like what was it, Bulgaria and
Yeah.
France, and what was the other country that was represented in that tournament?
It was just
That
the
was
three
it.
schools.
Yeah,
Yeah,
oh, the
Wait,
Triwizard tournament. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I remember Harry Potter stuff.
You know that pretty well. I was like, did you watch it?
I would like to read through the whole series again. It's just now I use all my free time to fucking edit podcasts.
Well, and you read it with the kids. It's like you read it again.
Yeah. No, that was great. It was. I really enjoyed reading it again. The third compendium for Invincible came out at Comic-Con, so now the whole series is in.
144 issues.
Yeah.
3 books.
So you've
Caught
already
up yet?
No.
He's never gonna read it.
But Brian, who will be here later, he had read the first two, and he doesn't know what happens. So, yeah,
A lot happens.
It's a great comic with rich characters.
it is. It's in a universe. I mean, he created all this.
What sucks is you read it as it came out, so like you actually legitimately forgot whole characters. by
I
the end.
forgot.
He did too.
I forgot characters who were in like Guardians of the Globe and some
Right.
offshoots and
Yeah.
stuff.
It'd be
Not as
different,
much
like,
in the main.
Reading straight through.
You know what I found myself doing now is like I'm reading Redneck, and Redneck's only on issue 13. I know I'm really enjoying it, but I'm finding it hard to remember characters' names. I think like with Invincible and Walking Dead and a handful of other books. I've been Spider-Man. I've been reading them for so long. I associate with all the characters.
That's why Stanley used alliterative names.
Okay,
They stick in your mind easier.
yeah, that makes sense. I never thought of that.
Yeah.
But like with Redneck and Gasolina and some of these other books that I'm reading, I'm having trouble remembering the names of the characters. And I can differentiate obviously when you're reading them and you're looking at them.
Right.
But to like go
Recall.
back and recall what their names are.
Can you recall them right now?
One of them's JV, right? In Redneck,
JV or JB?
JB. It's JB.
JB.
Who's the skinny uncle? The really skinny uncle. See, yeah, it's
Yeah.
hard. I really enjoy the book a lot.
I can't even remember the old man's name right now either, or the wife.
Yeah, I can't recall any.
It's
of
a
them right
great
now.
comic.
Yeah.
I just am terrible at remembering the characters.
But the guy that he was inspired by to do the uncle was at the signing I was at. He wasn't
cool.
signing. He was just like, hey, you guys know who Uncle so and so is? He's like, that's inspiration. It's just skinny looking fucking.
old Texas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But if you haven't read Redneck, it's a really good book. I guess we could throw out a hashtag right now to let somebody
Sure,
have an extra
go
entry,
ahead.
because I know all my Skybound Insider people are going to be looking for
The Rednecks.
the Redneck things. We got 4 signed Redneck Comic-Con variants that people are really bummed out they didn't go online. They sold out at the convention. I'm sure they, maybe they have some stash somewhere that they're going to be
Maybe.
doing promotions for, but we have 4 Donnie Cates signed ones. So what do you guys think is a good hashtag to? You just want hashtag 9to5nerds?
Hashtag Bloodweiser.
Yeah, we could do that. What do you think?
Both
Which
of
one?
them.
Topical.
Both of them.
Yeah, hashtag 9to5nerds, hashtag Bloodweiser. We'll throw an extra entry in to the raffle for anybody that does that. And so just make sure you're following us on Twitter at 9to5nerds, so eventually we can announce the winners and stuff like that. So yeah, did you write that down?
I did.
Okay. So
I'm keeping track
see,
of things.
we're gonna hook you guys up. I know that a lot of insiders are looking for that. So
There was a lot of insiders that got turned away from the meet and greet.
we'll talk about the meet and greet because I think that's going to be a good chunk of time. If
Yeah,
Okay.
I missed out on the
it was
the invite for that.
it was
yeah.
good. Corey missed out on it too, but it's because he was Pokemon hunting.
Which we'll talk about.
Boca hunting.
Poke hunting.
Did you catch anything?
Yeah.
So you were the one looking for the shiny, or was it Brian?
Both
Oh,
of them.
We were
Oh,
together.
they both did.
And you're
Yeah.
looking for a palette swap of the same Pokemon you
Yeah.
already have.
They had it was like a 3-hour event.
Different stats, or
On this one, no. Sometimes.
Corey, stop.
Why?
Explain to me Pokemon Go, Alan.
Oh, do you have a funny interpretation of
No,
it?
he doesn't play, and I like to hear explanations from people that don't know.
so I can sound ignorant.
No, it's like did you ever? There was
Yes.
that video of that
Yes.
girl who had never seen Star Wars trying to just explain it to her boyfriend, and she kept calling him Hans.
Hans?
So it's
I have not seen that.
it's like
Oh, that's old
10
school.
years old.
Oh,
It's funny.
That's adorable. It's I know it's augmented reality that you're going around basically recreating the Game Boy games, but with augmented reality. You're walking around, you're the Pokemon trainer, and you have to throw money to get balls and treats
Only if you
for the
suck.
Pokemon.
And
Do you say robots because of Futurama?
no, but I just like saying robots because it sounds ridiculous.
That's what Zoidberg says.
Yeah.
Robots.
Robots.
So does the dad from the Goldbergs.
Okay. All right. Pokemon Go.
When it comes to that, I know your buddy Corey too
Yeah.
has like 9 phones.
He
And-
has
Probably.
And is
Like,
like super Pokemaster.
As much as you make
which
fun
is
of
funny
me,
because he came like a year and a half after us.
yeah, he got into it when he came here,
Yeah.
like afterwards.
Yeah.
He
But-
was on level 1 when I was on level 29, and now he's way.
There's
way-
kind of like a pay to win mentality. Like you can do it freebie, which is 100% what I do. But if you pay for stuff, you can.
I've been playing for 2 years, and
That's
I don't
right.
play seriously. I don't, and I put $20 in over 2 years. And it was because it was Parker's birthday and we played together on my phone, and I let him expand your Pokedex where you can collect more Pokemon.
There was really the only experience I have with it is when it launched.
That was a big thing, like globally.
Yeah, with the people trespassing at the hospital I worked at.
Oh, yeah?
Well, I saw a Pokemon I didn't have that was on the other side of a TSA checkpoint. And
But he didn't also go running through TSA.
No, but he got it anyway.
I did get it. And what happened was the men's bathroom was right there, and the men's bathroom and I actually had to go to the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom, and I saw that it goes back really far, so I went to the farthest end of the bathroom, and I caught it.
This wasn't that long ago either.
Oh, no, this was this was a month ago.
Yeah.
But I like...
It also freaked my dog out because people would be coming through our yard like the middle of the night. Well, my night's off, and like,
really?
What the hell are you doing?
Do you have a Pokestop there?
Apparently, we had a Pokestop in our apartment complex. And,
Yeah. If it's a Poke Gym, it's worse because some people are like, they're assholes.
Gym is where you fight the other trainers, right?
Yeah.
No, you can't fight other trainers. Oh, yeah, I guess you
take your
can.
Pokemon out. So it used to be, it was just like you stack your Pokemon there and you hold it, and you get points or like coins, the currency in the game.
And then there's factions people get heated over, and
there are 3 different color teams. Whatever. You make the choice in the beginning, you can never change it, so you're stuck with whatever color you chose.
Oh man, that's gotta suck.
They added like raid bosses, which just like an MMO, you need 3 to 20 players to beat, depending on the difficulty. And man, some people park like assholes when they're playing. So if you got a gym in front of your apartment, which people park in the red all the time, double park, because they don't want to get out of the cars to go play. Like I play like. I'll walk a block to the gym. I'll park somewhere else. But, like, just doing a raid mass park, people just... The driveway to a park is only 2 lanes, and people just double parking to...
Well, there's all sorts of stories of people, like, getting way more activity than they usually do by doing this. So
you see a lot of
there's
people
some positive to come from that.
Yeah,
but
like weight loss.
It's
like
it's a fun game, but...
Yeah.
In moderation.
It does not appeal to me at all.
I get really bored with it. Then they'll come out with like a new...
So it looks like Google Maps is what you're walking through, and Pokemon pop up. So your physical location is where...
This is you with the 3D glasses?
Yeah.
And you have a fish?
I'm walking with, like fishy dude.
Yeah. And these Pokemon, these are your Pokemon, or these are Pokemon you have to catch?
Click one.
Okay, Alan's going to catch his first Pokemon.
Okay.
We're live
snake.
broadcasting. What is it called? Ekans?
Ekans.
Backward snake. No, I know.
Yeah.
Arbok is Cobra.
So,
Just throw the Pokeball.
You throw a ball at it.
Okay, I missed.
This is excellent.
This is exciting.
This is excellent.
This is exciting.
Okay,
I hit it with a Pokeball. Aren't they supposed to fight before you throw a Pokeball at them?
Not in this
To weaken
version.
it?
It's mobile version. There's the only fighting you do is at a gym.
Okay, I caught it.
Yay!
Cool. That was worth 100 XP.
Yeah, 100
Okay.
Stardust and probably 100 and
Yeah.
something XP.
Congratulations.
You can evolve it into a Cobra?
Yeah, I could. So you do, you build up candy and you evolve it, you get XP, and the main aspect what you want to do, they have randomized stats kind of.
Okay.
So if you're a lot of people, you want to get the best one you could possibly get. So the odds of getting a really good one is rare.
I know the console games, they get very needlessly, well, not needlessly, but they get very intricate with how the stats work, and people break down the code. And
100%. I said there's no better mathematicians than people who are into Pokemon, because they break down every single, like, some of the line of code just like a, if you look, it looks like a horrible mathematic formula just for like catch rates on Pokemon. Like, but there's a bunch of stuff in there just dedicated to that. Even in this game, which is very, like, it's like Pokemon Light, people unravel every single bit of code and figure every single odds and ratios and percentage of chance to catch something.
Yeah, that's it's. I hate to say this, but my free time is so limited that's way more effort than I want to put into a
Corey
game.
and like Brian and stuff, they'll drive to somewhere to go do something.
And
we'll
then if
go.
it's there,
They'll go to play Pokemon.
oh, you'll
So, like,
seek it out.
Because every like month they have like a special day for 3 hours. It's like some rare Pokemon with a new move or its shiny version came out. Like they've only released about 60 shiny
So they
versions
get various
total.
different moves then.
Yeah, totally.
Whereas I'm like, oh hey, we're gonna go take a walk downtown or Balboa Park or do
So,
something today.
I was like,
We'll
let's
do
see
that
what's out
maybe
there.
as well.
I would imagine they'd have a bunch at the zoo, right?
They do. It's an
if you got passes, Balboa Park. Is
Balboa Park's
identical.
good.
So that's why I go every community day is what that is.
When we want to take a walk, we like to park on like 3rd downtown and walk to Seaport Village and walk around by the water and walk through downtown. And we'll play Pokemon.
Nice area.
Yeah, we'll play Pokemon some of the time, but we don't go.
It's a nice thing to do when you're waiting in line, when you're just walking
very
somewhere nice, or you have nothing to do. Like if you're just walking from one end of Comic-Con to the other, or like downtown to get to Comic-Con.
Did they do something special for Comic-Con?
There were unknowns a lot.
They did have a special like spawn, one that like Robert had never caught before.
No.
Aren't there there's a terrorist faction too, right? Is that in the mobile game?
The Team Rocket?
Yeah.
Only in like Avatar costumes.
Oh, okay.
There's very minimal story aspect, almost bare minimum. Just you can tune in Quest, and it has some flavor.
So it's got the freemium formula where it's grind or pay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna wrap up this first episode here in a couple minutes. We're next episode we are actually going to have the executive director of Child's Play on for a short period of time, so he can explain to us, the charity a little bit, and we can talk to him for a minute. It won't be very long, but I wanted you guys to just hear that we're not just taking your money. We are actually
You hear it from the mouth of a man.
yeah, we're
He's taking your money.
actually donating this money to a good cause, and it wasn't just like I pulled this name out of a hat. We went through several different charities that we felt were in the same vein as our podcast, video games, comic books. We looked through several different charities and landed on this one because I not only do I feel like it's a good charity, but I feel like the people that are running it are really good people. So I wanted to make sure we did that. What time are we at?
You got like 7 more minutes.
Okay.
And it goes to a good cause because studies show that activity and distraction, things like that, promote healing.
Really?
They
There was an
reduce-
arcade at the children's hospital I went to when
Absolutely.
I was a kid.
There's a reduction in need for narcotic painkillers. Pain management's much easier.
You know when you're playing video games, like you forget that you have to take a piss for 8 hours. You don't feel that you're hungry if you're into it.
Speaking of video games,
Suppress
at
those.
the Skybound Insiders thing, they gave us all free downloads for the new Walking Dead Overkill game that actually looks pretty good. It's not an AMC game. It's a Walking Dead game. Like these are different things. I know people don't understand this.
You played a couple Walking Dead.
Telltale
games.
games, but Telltale
different.
Telltale is actually done by Walking Dead.
Wait, is this a cell phone game you're talking
No,
about?
No,
Oh, it's an actual.
Console game?
Or-
it's a Steam game.
but it's coming out on PlayStation 4 and all the systems and stuff. But the codes that they gave us were for a free game were for Steam, and I don't have Steam. I don't have a computer that. You have it, right?
I do have
Do you want my code?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I'll give it a
So
whirl.
I'll
It
take
looks like the graphics they finally showed. It looks legit. Like
What kind of game is it?
it's a first-person shooter.
They made a Norman Reedus one a while ago that got panned.
Yeah, but that was a
You'd think that was-
AMC game.
That was based off the. I guess it was.
It was based off the
His
show.
character's not in the comic.
Yeah, anything
Yeah,
based off
makes
of the comic book is done by Skybound, and anything that's based off of AMC is done by that company.
Okay, so it's a first-person shooter.
That's what it looked like, and it's the artistic style and stuff. It looks like they put a lot of time into it. It's not like it doesn't look like a cash grab.
What's the name of it? I'm just gonna quick Google it so I can see.
What was the name of it?
Overkill's The Walking Dead.
Was it? You look it up.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
But it looked, the screenshots and some of the gameplay and stuff, it looked really polished. I think it comes out in November.
You don't think it's any? Is it going to get ported to everything? And you
It-
just
it-
got the Steam code.
Yeah, I just got the Steam code because right under at the last little trailer we saw, it said PS4, Xbox, and all that
It's
stuff.
been done by
Yeah.
Starbreeze
Overkill's The Walking
and
Dead.
505.
Starbreeze, the Chronicles of Riddick, and they made The Darkness, I think.
Okay, well, I think we're going
Just
to.
did Payday 2.
Huh?
It's a co-op game, first-person shooter.
The Walking Dead one is. Ooh,
It's
co-op
you
game.
do single player and multiplayer.
Oh, I wonder if it's couch co-op or if it's online co-op.
Probably
Well,
like
the online.
online co-op.
If
I enjoy the couch co-op.
I do too. That's why I was a big fan of Borderlands.
yeah,
We're gonna play A Way Out.
you got it.
No, but we're gonna play it after we're done with the game that we're playing now that we never play.
I know,
Finished
right?
Detroit Become Human yet?
I haven't. We with Comic
It's
Con.
a big game.
It is. It's only about 12 hours.
I finally 100%ed at AC Origins. Well,
Nice.
I have to wait till Tuesday for the next weekly challenge to come up so I can get the final reward from that. Then I'm 100% done.
We're gonna sign off for this episode. We actually have never done a Skype call for an interview.
Yay.
So we're gonna set up our Skype stuff, and we're gonna save this episode, and we'll be back with our second episode in
Just a flash.
It'll seem like no time has gone by at all.
2 shakes and of a lamb's tail.
Maybe 1 shake.
All right, so for this first episode, we are out. Thank you for listening.